Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inclusion uh, Matters podcast with Inclusion Pro Wrestling. I am your host, the Crippled Messiah. Uh, my executive producer had to work today. He's got to make those heartbreaking moves. So, um, but I'd like to introduce our guest today, which is Casey Jack Bradley. How are you this? Oh, well, I guess it's not morning for you, but it's morning for me. So, how are you today?
It's I'm doing good. It's actually the afternoon. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me here in England.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, um, can you tell us like some of your wrestling heroes when you were growing up?
Uh, so most of my wrestling heroes were like I think mostly one of them is definitely the Undertaker. Um, Kane is another one. Kenny Omega, and recently Johnny Gargano.
That's a great group of people.
So those are my
Yeah, that's a great group of
yeah.
people.
Oh yeah.
So, can you tell us the difference for the maybe for the viewers are listening about maybe like the British style and the American style? Because I know there is you know, a little bit of a difference.
I think American style. I think Americans do wrestling a little differently. I feel like they tend to just focus more on the indie style of wrestling. Um, whereas British style, we tend to focus more on the tech style. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, we tend to focus more on the tech style of wrestling, and we tend to do like a lot of fundamentals and stuff. I mean, I can't really tell much difference between British and American style because I've mostly only watched like both sides, but I mostly think it's just the way it's stylized and stuff. I think British wrestling is kind of like a lot more popular than like American wrestling, but it's still both as equal and everything. So I can't really tell much of a difference really, but I think it's all to do with tech and the audience as well.
So, can you tell us? I did this a little backwards. I got a couple of questions at first, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how long you've been wrestling, a little bit about your character, that kind of stuff?
Okay, so my character name is Daniel Banner, the cosplay kid. Mostly he's a bit of a goof. Um, he's mostly like I think his main thing is the cosplay style, all the cosplay gear he wears. But he's also into the pop culture stuff like the anime and video games. So he incorporates that not only in his gear but also in his style, his wrestling style. That's mostly why I incorporate moves like the Hadouken and the Shoryuken and sort of like the Superman punch and try to get as many anime references that like coordinate to the audience, not only to the adults but to the children as well. Um, and I've been wrestling for. I must have been wrestling for like a couple of years, but I'm still in the training process. like I've done some backyard stuff. I've done some stuff in one company, and then I moved to another company, and I started training again, and just to um, sort of like start from scratch in another place. I can just like start from bottom so I can get to the top. Um, so yeah, that's Daniel Banner in a nutshell, really.
Very nice. So you said you just kind of started trading. How long have you been uh, trading then? Like a year, couple of years?
Uh, I, I think I started back in. I think I started back in June of last year. Um,
Okay,
well, I started training in GT Ministries last year. I trained in another company before then, and then I did like back actually. So mostly about like 2.5 years mostly.
got ya. So, um, what made you want to become a pro wrestler?
I think I just had a passion for it. I really just enjoyed. I enjoyed wrestling when I was growing up. I started watching like Sting, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, and um, Rey Mysterio, and all those other wrestlers, and I just got really into it. I watched it with my dad when I was younger, and yeah, I kind of like wanted to do it, but I never got that chance back then, and I never got a chance back then because I never found any good wrestling schools in my area or any other place in England until until GTM started up, and I just I once it did, I just started going and pursuing my dream, and um, I'm still doing it today. And also, I think it's just an escape from like normal, like living at home and like normal life. It's sort of like a way to like go out there and express my passions, and like just sort of like go out there and do something instead of like sitting at home doing nothing really. So
No, I get that. That's kind of why I do this podcast. It breaks the monotony you know, of what I'm doing on a daily basis, and I have a passion for pro wrestling too, so I completely understand that.
yeah.
Uh, um, so a lot of people that I talk to, not so much on this podcast, but about wrestling, say when they start training, like that first day, they have that like, oh my god moment. What did I get into? Type thing, especially when you like take a
Hmm.
bump for the first time. Did
Yeah.
you have that like moment where you were like, okay, I have a passion for this, but man, this is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Um. So mostly, like once I got into that, once I stepped into that ring for the first time, I think I, I often thought like wrestling rings were just like fancy trampolines at first, but when I felt like when I put my hands on the canvas and I felt it, it just felt like you were like taking a bump on like a carpet floor, like or mostly just like actual floor in general. So that first bump, it just felt like someone just kicking you up the back, like someone just like whacking you in the back as hard as they could. But I think it didn't hurt as much when I did it more times because I think they said the more you do it, the less it hurts. And I kind of I kind of got what they mean, really. So I just like I had to train myself to handle pain and train my body up to just handle as much pain as possible. And yeah, I mean, people think, oh, wrestling's easy. Yeah, I'll take a bump and no problem. Yeah, pretty much the first time you take a bump, it's gonna feel horrible. You're gonna think second thoughts when you when you take your first bump. But honestly, I think that's what wrestlers have to go through in order to like. I think that's what they go through in order to like sort of like dip your foot in the water, so to speak. So.
Right. So before we continue, uh, I want to say thank you to our two newest sponsors, uh, El Ranchero Mexican Restaurant in Longview, Washington, and Precision Power Washing, and you can find him on Facebook. So, we like to ask a lot of uh, uh, like top 5 questions. So I'm going to ask one of those now. So your top 5 male wrestlers of all time.
Okay. Undertaker, Kane, Jeff Hardy, Kenny Omega, and Johnny Gargano.
Wow. That's a great list.
Yep.
So Johnny Gargano has a very like fast styles. Like he does a lot of like different styles. Is that something that like you are thinking about patterning your style after?
Or? So mostly the kind of style I'm mostly looking for is sort of like I'm wanting to like have a fast style like Johnny, but like I wanting to kind of like have a slow pace. Sure, it's not like quick, but steady. But I kind of like since I'm going for like an anime style to my like since I'm mostly going with an anime style for my character, I wanted to be so like in a way quick, like Johnny Gargano, but like sort of slow it down a pace like Kenny Omega in a way.
I gotcha.
And and I like Johnny Gargano is mostly because I've seen the Marvel gear that he wears, and that kind of like got me into doing the Daniel Banner character as well, because I kind of want to do sort of like that cosplay gear stuff like everyone else does, but I turn that into a full blown character, like you know.
No, I gotcha. So you kind of want to be like Southern. You want to be quick, but not
Yeah,
like Rey Mysterio, but sudden enough that you can hit something
yeah,
without somebody knowing it's coming.
yeah, definitely, definitely.
So I know you just
Yeah.
started your training, but do you have like a finisher in mind?
Oh yes. So mostly I've had some ideas about like uh a finisher where it's a Superman punch and it leads into a reverse STO, or mostly payback, which Shelton Benjamin does. And I had an idea of calling it retcon, Mostly because one, it sounds like a convention, and two, it's like the definition of retcon is sort of like adding something to a story, or like adding like retconning the story and uh, changing it to how how the viewer sees it, if that makes sense.
No, it does, and I love that name actually. Um, and uh, the 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 combination of the finisher. So I think you're onto something.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, because mostly like if one finisher doesn't work, then I can hit them with the other. So it's
right.
sort of like a two-way combo finisher. Like no one see the Superman punch coming, but they will see the SDR coming.
Right, and you can hit that on anybody because if you're wrestling a bigger guy and you can't hit him with the STO, you still have the Superman punch that you can kind of fall back on.
Yeah,
So that's kind of a
yeah.
brilliant way to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, so who's the if you've had any matches, because I know sometimes you can't wrestle a lot when you're first training. Who's the biggest guy you've wrestled so far, like name wise, or maybe trained with, would be a better way to.
Sure. Train. So the biggest I've trained with is a guy named Pride. Um, my good friend Chris, and he's mostly helped me a lot through some like while we go through like a lot of training. I've struggled with like getting footwork. Can struggled with certain stuff, and Chris has helped me a lot with helping me like not only to help me with my footwork, he's also helped me with certain stuff. Even though he's not into wrestling, which is kind of crazy because like he's in the wrestling business, yet he's not into wrestling, which is odd. But yeah, his wrestling name is Pride because he's representing LGBTQ, and he's mostly, yeah, he's waving the pride flag around and representing. Honestly, he's a great guy to work with. And hopefully someone I can either partner up with or face one day in the ring.
Very nice. So, if you had a dream opponent, who would it be and why? Like, if a promoter came up to you and said, I'll tell me who you want and I'll make it happen."
So, dream opponent. I've had a lot of like thought put into this about like who I want. I mean, like I said, Pride is one of them. Sean Only, my trainer, um, he's helped me out a lot. You know, he's helped out the whole academy a lot because um, he's been he's been training us to not only not only perfect our moves, he's also like been one of the big supporters of the academy and GTM. Um, so yeah, Sean Only is one of them. I have a lot really. I also think I think I want to try and take on Leonardo Darwin, mostly just to shut him up because all he does is like bullying, preach to everyone like, oh, he's Mr. Perfect and everything. Like, please. Martin Kirby. There's a few wrestlers in England that I definitely want to face, and so it's hard to choose. I think it's just whoever management puts me against, and like whoever I feel compatible facing, really.
That makes sense. Um, so top five female wrestlers of all time.
Top five. Are we talking WWE or AEW?
We're talking anybody. This is your list,
Okay.
so it can be AEW, it can be Impact,
Okay.
it can be WWE.
Any money. Okay. Um. Right. So if we're going list, Mercedes Moné, um, Yuka Sakazaki,
Yep.
um, ooh, hmm, Candice LeRae, if I mostly had to pick another wrestler, Saray, and just to name off the top of my head, Jade Cargill.
Ooh, I like that list too, and I'm glad you said Candice LeRae because I don't think she gets enough standalone attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's always connected to Johnny, which is great because that's her husband. But that
Hmm,
woman's a hell of a wrestler, on her own. And I don't
hmm,
think she gets the attention or the chances that you know that
yeah.
so you mentioned that you do like cosplay for your character. What are some of like the coolest like people that you've cosplayed as or maybe thought of cosplay as?
So recently, I'll have to. Sorry. Got it here. So recently, I've done my Deku uh, cosplay from My Hero Academia.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. I am going to get my Megazord gear eventually, and um, I want to do Optimus Prime because I saw Ricochet do it at SummerSlam, and I've always been wanting to do Optimus Prime for a long while. So um, they can show like all sorts of like video game and anime inspired cosplayers that I want to do. Like Vega from Street Fighter, King from Tekken. Um, so like all anything. So like once you get the materials and everything, it's just whatever pops into my mind or whatever goes with the story. Because I wanted to try and match. I wanted to do gear that matches the story of like whoever I'm facing and uh sort of like what Johnny Gargano does whenever he does a takeover. Like he does like gear that matches whatever city he's in or whatever gear, whatever like story he's doing. So
Absolutely. Now, do you make your own gear, or do you have somebody like do it?
um at the moment um the Megazord gear that I'm co- the Megazord gear that I'm waiting on is being commissioned. I am going to commission some gear, and I'm gonna make my own gear because I'm gonna like try and get myself a sewing machine and hopefully do some of my own sewing eventually. But like it's sort of like a mix of like commission and make myself.
Very nice. And I think you're onto something because I think at least in the mainstream, like over here in the States, there's not a lot of people that do like a cosplay, character. And I love the fact that it's like it changes, based on who you're wrestling, almost like kind of like like a chameleon, you know what I mean? Where like the
Yeah,
outfit will change a little bit each time.
yeah. I mean that's kind of the idea of it. Is it's sort of like I can adapt to I can adapt to anyone and anything. Sort of like whenever we do like whatever the theme of the wrestling show is, I can always adapt my gear to fit that specific show. And um so like yeah, if say like if we did an event called Break the Chains, I can do like a character like Spawn or Ghost Rider because they both have like chains.
Yeah.
And um I can like fit that character into like I'm going to break my chains of these sins and break my chains into to freedom and stuff because each show has a specific theme to fit um whatever it says in the Bible and because GTM is a wrestling church and we sort of like do like church study. We do like church sermons on mostly on a Sunday, but on a Saturday we do wrestling shows. But like still teach like church sermons in a way. So
That's
it's sort of like putting on a play, but but like we're wrestling each other and stuff. If that makes sense.
It does, and that's interesting to me because I've always connected the two, but not a lot of people connect church and wrestling you know, in the same, thing. So that's a very interesting concept where like you guys do wrestling on a Saturday, but then do the church stuff and on a Sunday and
Yeah.
still teach that as you're doing the wrestling stuff. So
Yeah.
um so this one might be a little bit harder, but I'm gonna have you put your booker hat on for a minute. Like you would be sitting in your house. So, um,
Yeah.
if you could book a WrestleMania card from anybody from any generation, uh, any promotion, and indies are available, 6 matches, who would be on the card?
Whew. Okay. So if we're booking WrestleMania matches, most of the time, like whenever you watch WrestleMania, you see the full card. You think, okay, this could be a real good WrestleMania, or it could just flop. Um. So if I had to book anyone, okay, I'm going to go to the main event first because that's mostly the important one. Roman Reigns versus The Rock,
Nice.
or mostly like I could do a rematch between Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes because I feel like last year, um, well, this year's WrestleMania, I feel like Cody got a little cheated out of his win. So I feel like Cody could get that second chance at the championship, and it would be sort of like either a no disqualification or like it would be sort of like a steel cage or a Hell in a Cell. That way, no outside interference or like no one can get in. But mind you, I feel like the way the bloodline's going now, I think it'll probably be like Solo versus Roman, but who knows? There's a women's match. I think it would be Io Sky versus. I think it would be Io Sky versus Bailey. Or Io Sky versus Asuka. Because I feel like there should be like a dream match thing where like Asuka wants her title back, and I think WrestleMania could be the place to do it, but it could be Io Sky versus Bailey. Like if Bailey betrays Io. Seth Rollins versus. That's a tough one. I think it'd be Seth Rollins versus. Trying to think of the name. The names escape me from somehow. It was. I am so sorry.
No, you're okay.
Seth Rollins versus. I think it could be Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest, or Seth Rollins versus the other Irish guy with Finn.
JD McDonough.
Thank you. JD Seth Rollins versus JD McDonough, because I feel like that could be like a really good match. In terms of sort of like you could build it up where JD wants a title, or JD just doesn't like Seth Rollins and just like wants to like get rid of him and stuff. So like have like Mace versus LA Knight. We have another battle royal. It sort of like depends on if they could fit a lot of matches on. Like if not, then just like move it on to another night. So like do like 2 nights, like what they're doing. But in terms of booking WrestleMania matches, I think I can only name those 4 matches in a way. So
that's all right. That was a great 4 matches. So
yeah.
So what's the craziest thing that's happened to you in your training?
Craziest thing. So I think the craziest thing that happened to me was I broke my shoulder. I broke the shoulder, and I was lucky enough not to get surgery, but I did. It was a hairline fracture. Because I think I was training with. I think I was training with someone, and I took an STO. Like it was like an STO move, like an RKO, but like it got me on the shoulders and then they threw me round, and then as soon as I landed like that, flat, and yeah, it honestly at first it just felt like my arm was cramping up. Like I just felt like I could still move my fingers, but I just felt my arm just like I couldn't move my arm whatsoever.
Right.
So I mostly had to go to the hospital next day, and I found out that it was a hairline fracture, which like caused my rotary bone like to like stop working, and it kind of like it was like that for like 6 months. I mean, you can imagine like sleeping, but only sleeping on one side because like you can't really sleep on your right on the injured arm because it'll just hurt more,
Right.
and it honestly I just felt I just felt um I don't know, I just felt paralyzed for like a few months after, and I mean it's healed now, but it just sometimes I still feel it when I'm like um rotating my arm or like taking bumps. So,
Well, I'm
but yeah,
glad.
that's the yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
So that's kind of like the saying wrestling is not ballet. Like injuries will happen. Like I've had busted lips. I've had like concussions. I've had like headaches and everything. It happens. Like you don't expect to like go and get into the wrestling business without like getting a bit of like without getting injured. Yeah. So
Absolutely. And I'm glad you're all healed up. And they kind of look at that sometimes as like a badge of courage, right? It's like, okay, you got
hmm.
your first injury. You got banged up a little bit. Now you're a wrestler, and now you're gonna roll, right? Like, not everybody thinks that way, but some people do.
Hmm. Oh,
Um,
definitely.
so your top five tag teams of all time.
Ugh, you put me on the spot here. Um,
Yeah, we have a
tag team
tendency to do that.
uh, so tag team wrestling. Oh, well, obviously the Hardys. Um, a New Day. I definitely have to give it to New Day. Um, DIY. Johnny and Champa. Um, top, another two tag teams. Um, I say Darby and Sting. That I know that's an odd one, but like they work so well together. And I will probably say the Brothers of Destruction.
Wow, that's a good list.
Sure. Yeah.
So staying on the tag team side, if you had a dream tag team partner, kind of like the dream opponent thing that I asked earlier,
Yeah.
no questions asked, who would it be and why?
Um. Well, currently, I think my dream partner would be my brother-in-law, like Connor Cage. Me and him are best friends. We got into the business together, and we've been training together. And I think it'd be like a really good like. I think me and him would be really good tag team together, and um yeah, we've mostly. I think we've only we've only trained together, but I feel like um, we could definitely be a good tag team because we know each other quite well, and we know like we have different styles and moves, but I honestly think our brotherly bond could help each other like win tag team titles, and I think we could like definitely what we could good have good chemistry together. If we train well. Uh, so yeah, I definitely share my brother-in-law.
Very nice. It's always good to have a family member that you can, trade with and kind of lean on and rely on. So
Yeah.
when you get to do like a bunch more matches, are you gonna focus, more on singles or tag team, or maybe just do whatever the promoter wants?
I think it's kind of mixed. Sort of like whatever the promoter wants, and like I would like to do some tag team wrestling. Like I probably like to start off in tag teams and then probably move on to singles, or probably like vice versa. Like start with singles and then go on to tag teams. But yeah, like you said, whatever the promoter wants, really. So, um, I want to do a lot of things in wrestling, and um, I just see what the future holds for me, really.
Very nice. Um, there's a lot of famous places to wrestle in England or in you know that people have wrestled at. Is there like a dream like venue or dream place that you would want to eventually wrestle at?
Um, I probably say like there's a place in my hometown where it's got like a big it's got like a big area, like a big area gathering place where like people go. They've held concerts, and they've held like they've held a lot of things like Christmas gatherings and stuff. So I think that would be a really cool place to wrestle in my hometown. In terms of other places, um, I'd probably like to wrestle at Blackpool, in the Blackpool, where William Regal was from, and where World of Sport was, where they filmed World of Sport, where they held wrestling for the first time. Um, Kind of all sorts of places I like to wrestle at in England, which I can't really name on the top of my head, but like I have a lot of dream venues that I like to go
Very
to.
nice. So now I'm gonna ask the question that my executive producer, the Heartbreaker, likes to ask all the time. In your opinion, what's the best wrestler turned actor?
Hmm. Uh, that's that's a difficult one because I like you have Dwayne Johnson, you have John Cena, you have Batista, and you have the Miz and Triple H and everything. Um, in my opinion, I would kind of go with Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I feel like he's mostly done a lot. He's done a real quite a few cool films and stuff. Um, yeah, Triple H has done a couple that went straight to DVD. Yeah, and I'm checking that. joke from CM Punk. uh, Kane has done the See No Evil movies, which are really cool. Um, I think a few other wrestlers have like done like gone from wrestling to movies and stuff. But if I had to pick one, I'd definitely say The Rock.
Very nice. That a lot of people pick The Rock when we ask that question.
Yeah.
Um, so top 5 indie male wrestlers today. Not sure if you froze or you still there.
What happened?
His connection went down. So while we're waiting, oh, here he is.
Are we back?
Yep, we're
Hey,
back.
we're back. Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that. Connection connected is a bit crappy
No,
here.
you're fine.
So continue.
So the question was top 5
All right.
indie wrestlers
So
today.
sorry. Do you want to repeat the question again?
Yeah.
Um,
Top 5 indie wrestlers today.
sure. Right. Top 5 indie indie wrestlers. Did you say?
Yep.
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 Top 5 indie wrestlers today. So Kenny Omega. Um, I want to say Will Ospreay. Um, there's not many indie wrestlers that I followed. Oh yeah, Kid Bandit. Kid Bandit. I always like watching him. Um, someone who are recently following, who I enjoy watching the matches. Eric Academia. And Simon Miller.
Very nice.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I definitely think you should get Academia on the show because she is fantastic.
We'll definitely keep that in mind. I'll mention that to my executive producers.
Awesome.
So, top 5 managers of all time.
Managers. So obviously you got Paul Heyman, you got Paul Bearer, we had to say like managers. Yeah, you got Bobby the Brain Heenan, Jimmy Hart, and I would probably say Sherry, Sensational Sherry.
It's a great list.
Yeah.
So, what's the best advice your trainer's given you, and do you still use that advice today?
So I think they've given me a lot of advice. They've given me a lot of scolding sessions. I think one of them is walk before you can run. Yeah, just keep watching and following. Always listen to your trainer. Always be respectful. Make sure. I kind of got this lesson from the Undertaker, but always know your means. You know, like I can't remember what he said, but I think it's something like live before your means. I have no idea. But I think one of them says one of my trainers said like don't overthink things and just slow down and pace yourself and also make sure you make sure like once you're out there just just go out there, have fun, make yourself known, make yourself memorable. Because I was very nervous going out on the Rumble when it was Rumble time. Like I was part of the Rumble and I was very nervous going out. And my trainer said, just go out there, have fun, just give it your all and stuff. And yeah, I that's what I did. Once my music hits, all my nerves just like went, and I just went out there and did it. And so I think my training has taught me a lot, and I'm still learning today.
Very nice. And I think that happens with like any athlete too. Like, they're nervous before the game or the show or whatever, and then as soon as it's like game time, so to speak, then they just do it because that's what you're meant to do. So
yeah.
So what was your parents' reaction to like you wanting to be a wrestler? Were they supportive or?
Yeah, my mom was sort of, at first like she was a bit skeptical about it, but I think she was more supportive when I told her because I've been doing like cosplay and conventions and for so long, I kind of wanted to switch up to do something else for a while, and mom, my mom was like, sort of like all for it, but like she kind of goes into protective mode as well at the same time, because she don't want to see me with bruises, and like she don't want to see me beaten up and everything. But yeah, that's how mums are, really. Um, my stepdad was all for it as well, and like, yeah, they said they were proud that I'm pursuing something that I've wanted to do, and and yeah, I'm getting out of the house, and instead of like sitting at home on the computer most of the time. So they're actually happy that I'm doing it, and stuff. Um,
It's good to have a good support system like that.
oh yeah, definitely.
Um, so we'll do our last top five. Uh, top five commentators of all time.
Um. So I've gotten top five list. Right. So Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone.
Wow.
Yeah. The only names that I can think of the top of my head, really.
Hey, they're good names. So,
Mm.
um, so what advice would you give to somebody that wanted to become a professional wrestler?
Um. So I would probably say I have plenty of money to get have plenty of money to get there. Have some money to pay for the training. Um, know who you want to be, not like in terms of character or like gimmick and stuff. Just keep training hard. Listen to your coach or your trainer, and probably just I think the main one is just keep focusing on training, listening to the trainer, and exercise. Always exercise, work out at the gym. Make sure your body's like in top condition. And mostly, the most important thing is just have fun with it. Just like have fun. Have a laugh, and just be respectful as well. Be respectful to the coach. Be respectful to the people you're working with, and once you get into the wrestling business, don't have an ego, and mostly just make sure like you know what you're doing, and make sure you um also make sure hygiene is important as well. Make sure you always wash, make sure you have clean gear and stuff. And so yeah, those are them. That's the best advice I can give to like people, and like always have like a character in mind. And if you don't have one, one will come to you eventually.
That's great advice. So my last question is, where can we find you on social media, and what's your next match coming up if you have any?
So social media, I'm on Facebook at I have two accounts. My main account is Keith Jack Bradley on Facebook. If you want to find my character page, it's Daniel Banner Cosplay Kid. On Instagram, it's Daniel Banner Cosplay Kid. 30. Same on TikTok and YouTube. Mostly, I all my stuff is Daniel Banner Cosplay Kids. On Facebook, it's Casey Jack Bradley. If you want to add me. So, yeah.
Very nice. Well, I want to thank you for coming on this afternoon for you this afternoon. So
Yeah.
It was a great interview, and come back again. When you have some of your matches, and that way you can tell us about it.
Oh, definitely. I probably won't have another match anytime soon. It just depends on what management wants me to do, or if management puts me in another match. Really, but hopefully, like I said before, this isn't the last time you've seen the Cosplay Kid. I definitely have a lot of surprises and stuff in store, and yeah, that's just the cosplay way. That's my official catchphrase, by the way. That's the cosplay way.
I was gonna say that's a great catchphrase. So
yeah, thank you.
And then I want to thank our 4 sponsors now. So it's El Ranchero Mexican Restaurant in Longview, Washington. Precision Power Washing. You can find him on Facebook. The CARE program, which is community action reaching everybody. And you can find the lady that's in charge of that on Facebook. And her name's Becky Bernhardt. And Bruce Nichols Painting for all your painting, pressure washing, and lead removal needs. And you can find him on Angie's. And don't forget that coming November 25th, we'll be launching Inclusion Pro Wrestling. So stay tuned for updates on that. And thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.